There comes a time in life when you realize not every battle deserves your voice. Some wars are fought not with words, but with wisdom, not with noise, but with calm. When you face those who thrive on chaos, who twist truth into confusion and peace into turmoil, you must remember that your silence can carry more power than any argument. The best way to deal with a narcissist is not to prove them wrong, but to prove to yourself that you are no longer their stage. You do not need to explain your worth to someone who feeds on control. You do not need to defend your heart to someone who never intended to understand it. Your strength is not in shouting louder, but in standing taller, grounded in peace that no manipulation can shake. You see, when you refuse to engage in their games, when you walk away instead of reacting, something changes. The chains they once held begin to fall. They cannot feed on what you no longer give. Your silence starves the chaos. Your calm confuses the storm. That is not weakness, that is wisdom. That is spiritual maturity. This journey is not about winning an argument. It's about winning back your mind, your heart, and your soul. It's about realizing that peace is your weapon, and restraint is your victory. You can rise above the noise and let grace lead the way. For in the stillness of self-control, you will find the strength that no narcissist can take from you. There's a moment in life when you realize that silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the point where you stop trying to convince those who have already made up their minds and start protecting the peace you fought so hard to build. Silence becomes your weapon, your armor, your victory song. When you deal with people who twist words, who feed on conflict, who need your reaction to feel powerful, the greatest thing you can do is not give them what they crave. Because when you stop responding, you take away their stage, their script, their control. They may throw insults, provoke you, even act like your calm means defeat. But deep down they know the truth. Your silence says more than their chaos ever could silence. Doesn't mean you agree. It means you're done wasting energy where it's not valued. It's the act of choosing peace over pride, growth over drama. When you stay silent, you're not suppressing yourself, you're mastering yourself. You're saying, I see the game, I know the rules, but I refuse to play. And that kind of discipline takes strength. Most people will never understand. It takes courage to walk away instead of shouting back, to breathe when everything in you wants to explode, to keep your dignity when someone tries to pull you into their darkness. There's power in learning when to speak and when to stay quiet. Because silence isn't just about keeping your mouth closed, it's about keeping your spirit steady. It's about saying, I won't let your chaos dictate my peace. It's realizing that not every comment needs a response, not every attack deserves defense. You save your words for moments that build, not destroy. You save your energy for things that matter, not people who drain it. That's how you rise above without saying a word in your life. When you start using silence as strength, you'll notice how much lighter your soul feels. The noise fades, the confusion clears, and suddenly you're standing in peace that no argument could ever give. Because silence, when used right, is not the absence of power, it's the presence of control. It's the calm confidence of knowing you no longer need to prove yourself to anyone who refuses to see your worth. There comes a time when you understand that real strength isn't about how loud you can be, but how calm you can stay. Emotional detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's not that you stop feeling, it's that you stop letting those feelings control you. When you deal with people who thrive on reaction, who want to pull you into their storm, emotional detachment becomes your greatest shield. Because when you refuse to dance to the rhythm of their chaos, they lose their music. You take back your power the moment you stop reacting to every jab, every manipulation, every attempt to make you doubt yourself. It's not easy. It takes practice, discipline, and self-awareness. You'll feel the pull to explain, to defend, to prove, but that's the trap. Every time you react, you feed the fire. Every time you argue, you give them control. Emotional detachment says, I see your game, but I choose not to play. It's not about being heartless. It's about protecting your heart from those who misuse it. It's about standing in peace while the storm rages around you, refusing to let anyone disturb the quiet strength inside your soul in your life. Emotional detachment means you stop tying your happiness to other people's moods. You stop depending on their validation to feel whole. You stop chasing closure from those who never intended to give it. You start realizing that peace is not something others can hand you. It's something you build from within. It's that deep breath when someone tries to provoke you. It's that calm smile when they expect a reaction. It's walking away, not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to protect your spirit. There is victory in not responding, freedom in not caring what they think, and power in knowing who you are without needing anyone to remind you. When you master emotional detachment, you no longer move from impulse, you move from intention. You don't fight for attention, you live with direction. You no longer waste energy proving your worth. You conserve it for building your peace. That's how you win without fighting. That's how you rise above without ever looking down. Because sometimes the greatest power you can show is the strength to feel everything, yet stay unmoved by anything that tries to shake your purpose. There's a power that lives deep inside you, a quiet strength that doesn't shout, doesn't panic, doesn't break. It's the calm within the storm. When life comes at you hard, when people throw words meant to wound, when situations try to pull you into anger or fear, that calm is what keeps you standing. Staying grounded amid provocation isn't about pretending the storm doesn't exist. It's about knowing it can rage all it wants, but it can't move you. It's about choosing peace even when chaos demands your attention. Because the louder the storm gets, the quieter your spirit needs to become. The world will test you. People will try to push your buttons, twist your truth, make you doubt your worth. But if you let every word shake you, you'll spend your life reacting instead of living. Staying grounded means you anchor yourself in who you are, not what's happening around you. It's taking that deep breath when everything in you wants to explode. It's whispering to your soul, I will not lose myself here. You start realizing that the one who keeps his composure when provoked is the one who truly holds power. Because anger may feel strong for a moment, but calmness builds strength that lasts a lifetime. When you find that stillness inside, you stop being pulled by every emotion that passes through the room. You see things clearer, you move wiser, you start hearing what's not being said, noticing what truly matters. You learn that peace isn't the absence of storms, it's the ability to stand firm while they pass. The storm may roar, but it cannot drown a soul that's rooted in purpose. You learn to respond with grace, not impulse, to walk away with dignity instead of destruction in your life. When you master the calm within the storm, you stop being a victim of other people's chaos. You become untouchable, not because you're unfeeling, but because you've learned that your peace is sacred. You guard it, protect it, honor it. The world may swirl around you, but you remain still, centered, unshaken. That's real power, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself, the kind that commands respect without saying a word, the kind that turns every storm into a lesson in strength. There comes a time when you understand that not every message needs to be spoken. Some are best delivered through action. Through presence, through silence. Boundaries are those messages. They are the lines that say, this is where my peace begins and your control ends. They are not walls to keep people out, but fences that protect what's sacred inside of you. Boundaries are how you teach others how to treat you, not by arguing, not by explaining, but by showing what you will and will not allow. When you build them with strength and grace, they speak louder than any words ever could. You see, when you've been through manipulation, when you've dealt with people who twist your kindness into weakness, you learn that boundaries are not cruelty, they are self-respect. Every time you say no without guilt, every time you walk away without explaining, every time you protect your peace without apology, you're saying, I value myself enough to choose peace over pressure. That's power right there. Because boundaries are not just about keeping others in check. They're about keeping yourself centered. They remind you that you are responsible for your energy, your time, your emotions, not for fixing anyone else's brokenness. People may not like your boundaries, especially those who benefited from you having none. They'll call you selfish, distant, cold, but don't let that shake you. They're simply reacting to the strength they can no longer exploit. Let them misunderstand, because your peace will speak for you. Boundaries don't need justification. They just need consistency. When you hold firm without anger, when you walk away with calm, that's when your boundaries echo the loudest. They don't shout, they resonate. They tell the world, I am not available for chaos. I am not open for manipulation. I am no longer accessible to disrespect in your life. When you learn to set those boundaries, everything changes. You begin to attract peace, respect, and people who understand the value of your space. You stop over-explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You stop chasing validation from those who can't give it. You become more grounded, more focused, more at peace. That's the beauty of boundaries. They don't just protect you from others, they reconnect you with yourself. And when you live like that, you realize your silence, your distance, your restraint. They all speak volumes, louder than any argument ever could. There's a kind of strength that doesn't come from fighting back. It comes from walking away. It's the moment you decide that your peace is worth more than their approval, that your dignity is worth more than winning an argument. Walking away with dignity isn't about giving up, it's about rising up. It's the realization that you don't need to prove anything to someone who's already made you question your worth. When you choose distance, you're not running, you're reclaiming your power. You're saying, I won't stay where I'm disrespected. I won't fight for attention. I won't settle for pain disguised as love. You're choosing growth over chaos, healing over hurting, self-respect over self. Sacrifice. There's a quiet victory in the walk-away. Because when you leave with grace, when you leave without bitterness, without revenge, you win something far greater than an argument. You win yourself. You stop letting their energy dictate your emotions. You stop letting their chaos control your peace. You start realizing that sometimes the loudest statement you can make is your silence and your absence. The same people who underestimated your strength will feel your power when you no longer show up to explain yourself. You become untouchable, not because you're hard, but because you've learned the beauty of soft strength, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Walking away with dignity is a declaration that you've learned your lesson and you're done repeating it. It's refusing to let anyone turn your love into a battlefield. It's not about pride, it's about peace. You don't need to slam doors or burn bridges. You just close them quietly, knowing you did your part. Because walking away doesn't mean the pain didn't matter. It means you matter more. It means you've grown enough to understand that distance is not loss, it's protection. It's the space where healing begins, where clarity returns, where strength is rebuilt in your life. When you choose to walk away with dignity, you rise above the noise. You move with calm, with purpose, with grace. You understand that not every ending is a failure. Some are beginnings dressed in disguise. You learn that distance is not emptiness. It's room for your soul to breathe again. And when you walk away not with anger but with peace, not with hate but with gratitude, that's when distance becomes victory and your silence becomes your song of freedom at the end of it all. The greatest victory isn't proving anyone wrong. It's finding yourself again. It's standing tall in your truth, unshaken by manipulation, untouched by chaos. You've learned that silence is power, that peace is priceless, and that walking away doesn't mean defeat. It means you finally chose yourself. Every storm you've faced, every battle you've walked through, it all led you here, to wisdom, to calm, to strength that doesn't need validation. The moment you stop arguing with what was never meant to understand you, you step into freedom. You begin to live not in reaction to others, but in alignment with your peace. That's the real win. Because when you choose dignity over drama, calm over conflict, love over ego, you don't just survive, you rise. You walk away not broken, but reborn, carrying your peace like a crown no one can ever take.